G'day everyone, I'm Ray Greenwood from SAP's predictive team and I'm here today with Don Forbes of QLX. Don, can you give a brief introduction to yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Don Forbes is my name from QLX Consulting, as you've mentioned. We've got almost 20 years experience in the entertainment industry, particularly in the gaming and wagering sector. So a lot of experience at delivering actionable insights and knowledge out of a customer's data.
Fantastic. Now, before you started this exercise though, no prior exposure to SAP tools?
None at all.
All right, and about how long did it take you to generate the insights we're going to walk everyone through?
Oh, I'd be lying if I said any more than a day.
Fantastic. All right, so I might click through the basic process you followed as we talk through it.
Sure.
First step was to create a customer segmentation model.
Yeah, looking to reduce the number of customers down to sort of a manageable set of homogeneous groups that represented meaningful inputs to the business. So things like ROI, number of bets, days since they'd had a bet, etc.
All right. Now, obviously, the purpose in generating these clusters is to come up with those groups of similar behaving people, but the key purpose is to share that out with the rest of the organization once you're done, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, surface it to users in the business who wouldn't be interested in the technical side of it, but want the functionality and output.
So as an advanced user, you want a nice, easy interface, and I think everyone
That's
can
right.
see it's been a pretty straightforward process to generate those clusters and then interpret that they are, in fact, good, stable clusters that you're interested
And
in,
meaningful, yeah,
and then share that out with the rest of the organization.
that's right.
All right, so our clusters have been generated now. We can use the tools within Infinite Insight to start evaluating those clusters. We can start deciding whether they suit our purpose. So here, cluster
Yep.
number one, 15.8% of the population, and representing groups with sort of middling bet result values. We could start investigating the profile for all those different groups by all the different attributes we had in there, but we're really interested in sharing this out with the rest of the organization, so I might switch over to how we do that. Within the predictive analytics tool, we can see we've got that client ID along with the cluster ID that you generated in Infinite Insight. Perhaps you can just describe the rest of the information we're looking
Yeah,
at here.
so we're looking here at the line-by-line transactional information. We can start to profile and understand cluster performance across different dimensions that weren't used for the clustering algorithm. So things like bet type, the league that they're betting on or the region or things like that.
All right, and within the tool, we've got the ability to manipulate and manage the data, get some basic insights as to what's going on there, as well as manage some of the outlier values, recategorize groupings, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
All right, once that's done, real purpose was to start generating some insights off that data. So the visualizations you looked into, we've got some of the key ones that you generated here. What do they tell us?
so here we've just got a volume bar chart. So we're looking at the stake or turnover of each cluster, and it's been stratified by bet type. So we can understand where the volume's coming from. So you can see here, cluster 8 on the Asian handicap, they're turning over quite a significant amount of money. But from a sportsbook point of view, turnover may not be of the most interest. We'd be more interested in profitability. So who's winning, who's losing.
So we might visualize that using a heat map just to start identifying where some interesting groups start to pop out.
Yeah, sure. And you can see here that from the Infinite Insights tool, we've got some usable insight when we look at bet type, because we can see that cluster 8 is in fact smashing us on the Asian handicap. So this would be something that the risk side of the business would be very interested in. Now, we might want to drill down even further and start to look at, well, which leagues or which regions are they particularly strong on?
All right, well, we did have a look at it by region, so we'll go and look at that slightly more geographically.
Yep.
And we can see here all of the regions of activity and the type of activity that's going on there. We can even animate that by the cluster that we're interested in to start seeing whether any of them pop out as being particularly interesting.
That's right. And again, you'd be interested here to know, well, if clusters 8 winning on the Asian handicap as they are they consistently winning across all regions and leagues, or are there ones that they're stronger in or weaker in? And this kind of representation would give us that insight.
So using Infinite Insight to get those similar groups of customers and then visualizing and investigating them within Lumira, we've already found groups of interest to the risk department who might need to control or mitigate the risk and the exposure for those particular customers, as well as information we could pass to marketing to help them drive campaigns to identify the right customers that we want on book and the right kind of activity for those customers as well. So what could we do with the information next? We've just got some basic transactional information in there. We've already got some great insights. What might be the next step downstream?
Well, there might be questions such as, are we opening prices up too early? So we're getting knocked off a long time before the event actually starts. Again, you might be looking at customers who were profitable for the house, but they haven't bet for a while. Can we win them back? Which segments are the desirable ones for the sportsbook, and potentially go back to Infinite Insights and we can build an acquisition model.
So we could start looking at things like, well, a customer might be very profitable in a particular segment as identified by Infinite Insight, but perhaps there's another category of betting where we could induce them to take more action there and mitigate their risk to the house as well.
Yeah, cross-selling, definitely.
Fantastic. So it sounds like there's even more insights to come. We look forward to seeing those.
Plenty more.
Great. All right. Thanks, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that quick overview of how easily you can get some pretty good insights out of the predictive tools from SAP.